I'm Dr. Annandale, and I teach philosophy at Mount St. Mary's University in Emmitsburg, Maryland. In this video, I will outline the structure of the first third of Republic Book 1 and give you some things to watch for as you read. The central question of Republic is, what is justice? In answering this question, Socrates describes the well-governed city. His answer covers the way the young should be educated, what roles people should play, and who should rule. But Socrates also discusses why the just person is always happier than the unjust person. He also talks about the nature of the soul and its justice, and gives a sweeping metaphysical picture that helps us to understand our relationship to truth. As you read, keep in mind that Plato thinks reason can rule all things, including our own lives. Each part of the conversation illustrates a way reason can guide your life. As Plato's reader, you should decide whether what he says is true, where this involves, as far as possible, finding justice in your own soul. If you let it, this can become one of the most influential books you will ever read, as it has been for many others before you. Book 1 introduces the central characters and questions of Republic and touches on many themes that Plato will develop in later books. Socrates begins by telling us that he attended a festival at Piraeus, the seedy port town outside of Athens. As he is heading home, his friend Polemarchus catches up with him and talks him into lingering for a bit. The first significant conversation is between Socrates and an older man, Cephalus. They talk about old age and physical pleasure, and Socrates suggests that Cephalus is only able to enjoy his old age because he is wealthy. Cephalus's response suggests that he thinks both goodness and wealth are necessary for happiness in old age. At 330d, Socrates asks Cephalus, "What do you think is the greatest good you have enjoyed as the result of being very wealthy?" Cephalus replies, "Wealth makes it easier to be just. It helps you to avoid lying, cheating, and stealing." Now this launches a quest for the proper definition of justice, which is going to involve a discussion among all the other men gathered around Socrates. Proposed definitions include: justice is telling the truth and paying debts, justice is giving to each what he is owed, and justice is helping your friends and harming your enemies. Socrates points out problems with all these definitions, of course. Look for the objections and counterexamples he gives when considering each definition. Two more important points come out during this discussion. First, Socrates compares justice to other crafts and activities, and concludes that it is not useful in the same way that they are, since it is only useful for useless things. This conclusion shows us that there is something wrong with the analogy. Justice is not an activity like other activities, but is very different. We need to inquire more to discover in what ways it is different, so there's more philosophy to be done down this line of thought. Second, Socrates leads Polemarchus to the conclusion that justice never harms anyone, but only brings benefit. As you read, pay attention to the arguments that lead up to these two conclusions, that justice is not like other activities, and that justice never harms anyone. At this point in the dialogue, something unusual happens. Thrasymachus interrupts the conversation. He's angry, and he begins hurling insults at Socrates. In fact, he seems on the verge of committing physical violence against him. I'll talk about Thrasymachus' part in the dialogue in another video. That's all for now. Thanks for watching today. Goodbye.